You know what I'm saying? Then I'm blessed. I done been put to the test. Pass, now it's on to the next. Tell me, who you gon' check? Bossed up, sign the checks. Careful so you don't wreck.
What is up, Legacy? We are back again with episode
What's good?
3.
What it
Episode
do?
3.
2.5.
2.5.
Oh yeah,
Two and a half.
definitely 2.5.
Let me explain. So, if some of you may know, I am in charge of the videoing, and then I do the edits and everything. Well, while we were having this great conversation last Sunday, we were talking and everything's going good. And then I think it was, I think I said, I hope this thing is still recording. Well, shortly after that statement was made, it stopped recording.
Yes, it
when we were done, we kept going. We didn't know.
didn't know.
So we're still talking. I got up and I looked and saw that the video had stopped. So it had to been stopped. So it was my fault. Yeah, but that's okay because y'all are here for part 2.
Yes,
we're gonna finish off the conversation we were having last week, and we're gonna just have a great talk.
Yeah, okay. All right, so y'all know how this go. We got questions, of course, some great questions, some thought-provoking questions, and we had a total of 5, okay, that would have been talked about last
Yes.
Sunday, but since we had to break it up, what we decided to do is we got another question that was sent to us from a viewer, so we're gonna throw that question in and then just add it to the other questions that you guys didn't get a chance to hear. So I'm gonna ask our first question.
All right.
All right. So, do you think legacy is built in public or in private?
Who's answering first?
You can answer first.
Okay. I believe it's a bit of both. And I'll use us as an example. When we
I can't laugh at nobody. It ain't even funny.
No, it's okay. Keep going.
when we first started the daycare in Dundee, we spent time. I'm talking about time. We became one.
Yes.
With that child care facility, and we would be there late at night, early in the morning, working on paperwork, just perfecting things, and kind of perfecting what God had given us. Or should I say, shout out to Ms. D, had given her. So she really brought us into that world. But it started there, and then from there, we were blessed with the facility at the mall, the child care facility at the mall. So now we're up to daycare. So now it's like, okay, we perfected the first one. We know what to do with the second one. So
Right.
now we're perfecting the second one. And then from there, that branched into a K through 12 private school. Also at the mall, because we started at the mall. And now
Wait.
it's like,
Wait.
what, I missed something?
Well, okay, before we was K through 12, we was K through 8.
We were.
Yes.
I forgot about that for
Yeah.
a hot minute. We were
Yeah.
K through.
We
We
was
were K through
8, and then
F. Wow. K through 8.
Yeah, but
Private school.
we moved it because our 8th graders were going to be in high school.
Right.
And they needed a school to go to. So
Yes. So it's like, all right, we're just of it.
we just extended.
So we ended up expanding to there, and then so now it's like we have all these different works going, and so behind the scenes we're still working extensively. Even now we still work behind the scenes to kind of perfect where we are and then the things that we want to implement and do. But that's privately.
Yeah.
Publicly we're dealing with the public on a daily. We got the daycare, we had the cafe, the church. We're dealing with public. And then I don't know if y'all remember, we did go through our little slander a little bit a couple years ago and stuff. And so everything was put out in the open and stuff. And then of course, you know, people have their opinions and everything, but hey, we still here. We're still here. We ain't going nowhere. But I think it's both, because you still have to perfect behind closed doors, and you have to perfect in the public and in front of people. You have to learn how to what's the word I'm looking for? Because we do it when we do not videos, when we have the meetings and stuff, and we have to present what we do. That's not the word, but something along those lines, like a pitch. so to
okay,
say. We
okay,
have to
okay,
learn how to speak publicly. We have to have our faces out there,
Right.
show up and everything.
Like
so
now.
yeah, it's
Like
definitely
now,
both. Like
'cause
now,
this is
yes,
new.
this is very outside. This is the box.
Yeah.
This is where we're at.
We
All right?
jumped into the waters.
But yeah, so that's why I think it is definitely both.
Okay. All right, and then my beautiful wife, Nikki.
I agree with Tiana. Most definitely is both. And I say for privately, we have always did our projects in the dark. We will continue to do our projects in the dark. It's better that way. Nobody knows what we're doing until the day of our project is ready to be released. And that's the private part. That's how we work. We work privately, but we also have, like Tiana said, been slandered and bashed online and ridiculed, and that's a part of the growth process.
Yeah.
That's a part of
Comes
the
with the
building. It
territory.
comes with the territory. It built our character. We're more aware. We're heightened, and
Yeah.
It's only
best
up
of
from
both
here.
worlds.
That too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna touch a little bit on both of what you guys said, but I do agree and think that it is both. I think when it comes to building a legacy, like one of the great things about doing it in private is you don't have to worry about any outside influence or opinion with what you're building, right? So it's kind of like you can have a great idea, and instead of having to worry about whether or not your great idea is great to everybody else, you can focus on building that great idea and then building it privately, and then when it's ready to be broadcast or showcased publicly, you're able to do so. And then as far as public opinion, depending on the, I think, job field can be important.
Yeah.
We have reviews, like for example the cafe, Drip Jar Cafe, located in Lake Wales, Florida.
Shout out.
We do cater. When we were open, I love to get people's feedback because
Yes.
I want to know.
Yes, she did.
He really
Yes, he
did.
did.
you
No,
guys.
listen.
And
listen.
honest
I
feedback.
would have to tell him because he'll come out y'all. He'll be in there cooking. I'm talking about going
Chefing it
working.
up.
He'll come out with flowers, stuff, food, and stuff on his jacket. And he's just standing out there smiling and looking at people. If you don't get back in
You
that
make
kitchen,
it sound creepy. You make it
Bro,
sound like a creep.
no. Like he come out there, he's just like
And want to
Bro.
know how they was looking. What was their expression?
how they look when they eating the food. Go back in the kitchen.
No, okay,
get back in the
listen,
kitchen.
in my defense, right? I like cooking, okay? And I like to know, like, people's thoughts on the food that was prepared for them. Which is
get it.
why at Drip Jar Cafe, located in Lake Wales, no, I said loaded in located in
loaded
Lake
in
Wales.
Lake-
Y'all know what I mean. Located
alright.
in Lake Wales, right? We always did food cooked to order because I personally don't like cooking somebody food and letting it sit.
Right.
I feel like I
And
want
when
you
he
when
say
you eat it.
personally, because when he say personally, it's like, are you ready to eat now? Because I'm not gonna fix the plate until
Yeah,
you're ready.
I'm
Yeah.
not-
Because it's
Yeah.
not
He
gonna
does
be
that with
hot.
catering
Like,
as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I do
like,
that.
I'm
Like,
not
Come
finna do
eat
this
right
ahead of time.
now.
I'ma
The
wait.
food is hot right now.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't
The
want you
freshest,
to like
the best.
Yes.
Yeah, like soon as it's ready, sit down, let's eat. Like you telling me 10 minutes? Okay, nah, I'm not gonna fix the food yet. I'm gonna wait.
Listen.
When you ready, let me know, and then we can eat together.
That's gonna be
when
the
it's fresh.
slogan for Drip Jar. The freshest, the bestest. Freshest.
But yeah, I think it's both. I think when you build, there's some things that come with building privately because you don't have that outside influence.
Right.
But then building publicly, you can kind of get feedback, and feedback can be important. You know,
It can.
You get that positive feedback,
Right.
that constructive criticism, if you will. When you can have that, it kind of can give you a better gauge and a better sense of direction, like to go in. Like just imagine like whoever invented like the basketball, right? Let's say they would have did it privately, or let's say they did do it privately and never tested it with like somebody who actually was going to use the ball, right? They would never know like, okay, it needs to be this big, it needs to have this much air in it, it needs to have this type of rubber material on it to feel this type of way in the hand. They would have never been able to know what the public or the everyday consumers thought about the product if they never did it publicly, you know? So yeah, that's why I say I think it's both. I think it's a little bit of both,
Yes.
publicly and privately.
Yes.
Okay. Nice. All right. I'll ask the next one.
All right.
Number 2. What are you doing now? What are you doing now that your future children or future self will thank you for later in life? That's not there. I just added that on there.
Okay. I start out because I'm gonna answer for me and Nikki. all
Okay.
right? So, what are we doing now that our current and future children will thank us for later? I would say currently what we're doing is working hard, trying to create multiple streams of income, right? So that way we can be financially free in the future. I think the goal as a parent is always to give your child a better experience than what you had growing up. I know we had a cool experience as kids. I know.
We're gonna talk about childhood. One of these days we talk about childhoods. But
Yeah, we had a cool experience growing up as kids. But the goal for me and mine is to always create a better experience than what I had as a child. So I think
ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's not at all. I know sometimes that can have like a negative attachment to it sometimes with kids who may have like
kids.
2 parents in the household, like a mother and a father, and somebody who maybe don't have that look upon that child like, you spoil you this, you that, you don't need both parents, you don't need to always get what you want, like that kind of thing. But I think when it comes to that kind of stuff, like spoiled kids and spoiling your child, it's all in the what I'm looking for. It's all in the the way you raise your child.
Yeah.
Like
Because
the mannerisms and the behaviors.
You could give your child, I'm gonna say everything that they want,
but
and still instill discipline in them, and
They
manners
don't
and
always,
stuff.
Like they say, like they have to learn their lessons the hard way.
Yeah.
It's other lessons to be learned. To teach
It
them.
is.
Yeah,
Listen.
it's another way to learn a lesson.
Listen.
You don't have
It don't
to
always have to be the hard way.
right.
Listen.
Especially if your children are okay. Like we got pretty good kids.
But I have a question, because I know I've noticed in this generation, because as we're teachers, so we're around kids all the time, that a lot of people that's millennials would say that they didn't want to raise their children how they were raised. So
Right.
if they were raised, strictly, then they don't want to raise their children that way. But I think somewhere along the lines, somebody may have, altered what that means or what that looks like. And because we deal with it often.
We do.
Parents kind of just let them do whatever,
Let them coast.
but forget to still instill discipline and manners.
I think that probably come with I guess you could say like the millennial parents wanting to be like that friend that their child, let's say, don't
forget
have.
to be the parent.
Yeah, it's like friend once, and with kids, when the relationship you start out with,
That's what you're gonna have to continue.
Yeah, that's typically what they continue with.
Yeah.
So it's like, as a teacher, for example, if I'm buddy with a student, when it's time to be serious,
Right.
they may not take me seriously because
you
this
always
whole time
joking
we've been,
we're friends.
we're friends, yeah. So I think the same thing happens with kids. Like when you can be like cool with your kids, but at the same time you have to draw that line with your children and let them know like
Ain't you look
this
friend.
is this,
Right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
Right
this
now.
is this is this, that's that. But like speaking like for our kids, like I said, we work hard. We're building multiple streams of income. The cafe, Drip Jar Cafe, located in Lake Wells.
Wow. Shout out number
We
3.
do catering.
Yeah,
We
do
also
catering.
Yeah.
We will be opening our doors back pretty soon.
Stay tuned.
So the cafe, the clothing brand, Kingdom Justice.
Oh, right. Yeah,
they-
let's go ahead.
KingdomJustice.co. Get all your wonderful merch there. Yeah, those things. I do web design. I do pictures for different events, music, whatever the case is. Like just anything I can do to make extra income. And so just doing those type of things and working on these different visions and things that God has given us, I think and truly believe that it'll open up the doors for us to be able to build that legacy for our kids, so that way when they are older, like they don't have to struggle. Like it's okay for my child not to know certain
struggle
aspects
life.
of a struggle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she don't have to, or our kids won't have to know what it's like to have the lights turned off because we couldn't pay the bills. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like. If she want to see what it feel like to not have power, we can just turn off all the lights and unplug everything.
Now you turn the breaker off.
Yeah, turn the breakers off. You know, like if she want to know what it feels like to ride in a vehicle with no AC, we just turn the AC off, roll the windows down, have a nice good trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's what it is. You know, broken radio, we can turn it off. You know, it has an off.
Hey, get a speaker.
Oh, there you go.
We
Get a
did that one
speaker.
time before. We rented a vehicle and it ain't had no. It had a CD player and the radio, and that was it. And we didn't have any CDs, and we didn't want to listen to the radio.
Right.
We had like an 8-hour drive. So you know what I did? I took a speaker, put it at the top of the dash, connected my phone.
Right eye, baby.
And hey, if you wanted to hear the music, no talking. If you're in the back,
Right.
you gotta quiet down, speaking not that loud. But yeah, like I think doing those things is like the stepping stones, I guess, that we're doing to be able to have that legacy for our kids, and then it'll give them options. You know, like she don't have to depend on, or they won't have to depend on, let's say, like sports or other things like that. You know, like they can focus on academics and just things that they have an interest in,
Yeah.
because we'll be in a position as parents to be able to provide that for them. So yeah, what about you, Miss Tiana? What are you doing?
No, he touched basically everything. I would just add on maybe like just parenting lessons, you know,
Yeah,
instilling those values in them, making sure they're making good choices.
Yeah.
I don't know. He touched on everything though.
Yeah.
He basically-
Oh wait. I didn't answer the last part of the question. So it says something that they'll thank us for. So I think our kids, saying all of that, I think our kids
already
will thank us for working as hard as we do now,
Yeah.
and then being present in their lives,
I think that's a good one.
how we
Being
have
present
been
is
and how
great.
we're going to continue to be
Yeah.
and continue to show up for them.
A
So,
present parent is so important.
it is. It really
Present
is.
and active parent.
It is.
So important. All right. What am I doing now that my future self will thank me for? I would say I would touch on that as well. Working as hard as I do now, because I know that it will pay off. Like I know for a fact it will pay off, and I know I'll look back at times like this, and it's like, I thank you,
Yeah,
Tiana. I
yeah.
thank you, past Tiana, for working as hard as you did, so that now I can, chill and stuff. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what my future holds. I know it's going to be great. And I know that because of the stuff that was instilled in me as a child, and just coming up, my upbringing, how we were brought up and stuff, is going to flourish and it's going to show later in life. So yeah, I'm excited to see what the future holds.
Okay. I want to add something like for this question, and you guys, you viewers, chat. Y'all can also, leave your thoughts in the comments under the video as well. Yeah, but to add, it's like when you think about it, it's like a seed, right? So like when you plant a seed,
Yeah.
you have to nourish it, take care of it. Depending on what you're trying to grow, you have to put it in the proper, or it has to meet the proper conditions for it to be able to grow into whatever it is that it's growing into. So for the sake of the conversation, let's just say like an orange tree, right?
The sweet potato that I just gave you.
Okay, sure. Let's
Like
say the
the
sweet
sweet
potato,
potato.
right? So when you got the sweet potato already had leaves. It already
It
had,
did.
it was already
did.
started. So that means whoever planted that seed,
They did what they did.
they did what
well.
was needed.
Yes.
Yeah, to be done. And like, as far as like how the question says what they would thank you for, I think it's like when you start out, like how you start is how you finish, so to say, right? So like if you build it up, if you put it in the right soil, if you water it, if you do what you're supposed to do to get it to grow and develop into what it's supposed to develop into,
Right.
when the time comes, which would be like that future part of it, then it'll be what it's supposed to be. It'll be a sweet potato. It'll be a sweet potato that we could eat.
Right.
It won't be no rotten sweet. It won't be no half potato. It'll be a full grown
Right.
sweet potato. And it's like if the sweet potato could talk, it'd just be like, "Thank you for taking
Taking
care of me,
right?
That's crazy.
for making me to be what I'm supposed to
Right.
be." You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the analogy.
That's
I just
good.
kinda
That's a good
thought of.
analogy.
Yeah. All right, and then
Just add
yeah.
on.
So this is our last question, right? I know for some of you guys this video may seem short, but you got to kind of remember this is technically is video
It's part
3, but part
two.
two.
Episode 3, part 2.
Episode
Yeah.
2.
No,
you know
episode 2.
you know how Lion King did a Lion King 1 and a Lion King 2,
1.5.
but then they did a Lion King 1.5.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did
this
episode 2, but it's
2.5.
2.5.
Okay, I'll put that on there. It's gonna say episode 3, but I'm like scratch
yeah.
that out.
Episode 2.5. Yeah. So if it seems short, we'll just say that's kind of the reason why. Because this was
Oh, I
You
thought
know.
we were gonna be leaning more into having shorter videos, honestly.
I mean,
like
it don't
three
matter.
questions.
Yeah,
It don't
three
matter.
It's like what 15 minutes, and then we talk.
When we
It
get
gives
to
us more time to
5.
expound
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
trying to let's hurry up and get to 5. Yeah,
You guys let us know.
I like the
Shorter.
3 questions.
I like the 3 questions.
3
too. And then
questions,
it's
5
3 of us,
questions.
So it's like, what if
Okay.
we each bring a question? We get a topic.
Okay.
We bring a question.
We could do that.
We just gotta make sure
Let's
we
do
got
that
the
next
same
episode.
question.
Nah.
We'll do that the next one.
So, okay, let me say this then since she said that. So far, right, when we get the questions right before recording.
Yes.
That way we can give you guys the most genuine and honest
Raw.
answers that we have.
Yeah.
So that way it don't sound scripted when we sit here in front of you guys. So if you guys want us to do 3 questions, we'll do 3 questions.
I feel like we've.
Already established it. Okay,
Yeah.
I guess I'm out.
I mean, I love your input. Listen, love your input.
The ladies have voted.
You can
We're gonna
put
do
some
3.
questions in the comments.
Yeah, because we do
Um,
need more questions from. We
Oh,
want to
wait,
hear from the
real
people
quick,
for real.
Shout
for real.
out to Son of Thunder. He was our first commenter on the first episode that we
Okay.
did. So
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, sir. Yeah, but put more questions and stuff in the comments, and we will
Yes.
be answering those, and
We
we
will.
will be implementing those in
Yes.
our episodes.
All right, and then I guess now that leads to our last question. Shout out.
What's his name?
I'm a shout out Joey. All
Joe,
right?
yeah,
Shout out
Joe.
Shout out
Yo,
Joey.
Joe. Yeah. You know
keep
what?
a switch.
Only because we shouted out Joey, I have to say shout out to you, Brucey. Love you.
We love you, Venom.
All right, so our last question is, all right, and like I said, this comes from Mr. Joey himself.
Joey, keep a switch.
Yeah,
Young Joe.
young Joey, young American.
Right. He's a YA.
All right, so his question is, have you ever doubted your faith or not believed?
Okay.
If so, was there an incident or event that made you believe?
All right. Yeah.
I'll go first
Okay.
because I'm sorry to give you a boring answer. I don't think I've ever doubted.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. That's my honest answer. I've never doubted. Yes, we've been through situations before, even growing up as we were younger. I've never doubted. I mean, I've always known too much about them.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Amen.
Doubted 'em.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
I just know it's gonna be all over in the morning.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Things are gonna get better.
Yeah.
You just have to have faith, and that's just how I was raised.
Right.
That's how after I left previous churches and church homes, like coming here, I even was taught even more about faith, and
Right.
that's how we live our life with faith in the walk.
Yeah.
And that's just something I've never experienced before. But sorry, can't give you a more exciting answer.
All right.
You want me to go?
Sure.
Okay. I think as a PK, right?
Yeah.
It could be a little different
Yeah.
because PKs see like the behind the scenes
Yeah.
of church
Of every
and church
aspect of it.
people. Okay, and I think sometimes, given certain situations, like it can kind of make you question certain things
Yeah.
about your faith or about God.
Yeah.
Like maybe something may happen, whether it be in the home, outside of the home, and it's like, well, God, like if you exist, why, why I
this
got to go
happen?
through this? You know what I'm saying? And I think for me personally, I wouldn't say that I never did not believe, but I will say there's been times where like certain situations would make me question certain things. Now, let me tell you what really solidified it, right? So we always hear there's good and there's evil, you know, heaven, hell, angels, demons, right? What put the icing on the cake was being in service and seeing demons manifest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll make you believe in
That-
the minute.
that-
Okay, especially after that. I ain't
Listen,
never doubted him.
listen.
Especially after
Listen.
that.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
tell
Y'all,
you,
it is real.
when I tell you, it's like something out of a movie, and it's like
Yeah.
every time I like, if I ever was to have a conversation with somebody about it or whatever, it's like I wish I could turn my like thoughts into like a projector,
For
sure.
so
You
I
need
can
to see
show
what
you.
I saw.
Stuff that we've seen.
Cause it's like it may sound crazy, it may
Yeah.
sound like I'm describing a movie,
Yeah.
but when I tell you this stuff, I done visually
real?
seen with my
Yeah.
eyes,
Yeah.
and it's like if only you knew,
Right.
you would be a believer too. Like,
Absolutely.
That's
listen,
it.
if you could have been there with me during those moments,
Yeah.
you probably would have rubbed your eyes like,
it's
And it
been a
being
lot
young
of
too.
them.
I think that's what did it. You were
yeah,
young.
Yeah.
we was young.
So that solidified it right off the bat.
Cause
So
you
we
know, it's
got
like
Yeah.
some stuff you see when you're younger is like it don't make sense. But this was one of them things. It's like it's either this
Yes.
or it's that.
Right.
And
or
right
right.
now,
Hot
it's
or cold.
this.
black and
In or
white.
out.
That's it.
I'm telling y'all this. I'm gonna share one experience real quick. Okay.
You trying to talk about the
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
We know.
So we used to have like shut-ins,
Shut-ins.
right? This
What is a shut-in? Just in case.
Okay, so a shut-in is when we come to the church building. We pick a time. We'll say like maybe
Midnight.
to the next day. Let's say like
Sun
up. So let's say 6.
4 or 5.
So 6
Okay.
hours. 6 hours.
Yeah.
Every hour somebody's walking around the church and praying. Everybody else is there. They pick a spot. They want to walk around as well. They walk around. Everybody's praying amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Somebody's praying on the mic. But yeah, it's for 6 hours. Hour after hour after hour. This particular time, I was
Sleep.
in
In a slumber.
I
yeah.
went to, okay.
Uh-huh.
In my defense, I went to sleep because I had to get up early.
Right.
All right, for school. Okay, so I was dating my lovely bride here at the time, and as I was asleep by the drums because I play the drums. It had to be like 3 a.m. in the morning, right? You know how you deep in sleep. You know what I'm saying? I was in the. We had the worship music playing. Somebody was praying. You know what I'm saying? Like I prayed myself to sleep. Okay.
Right.
As I'm asleep, I hear like this loud screeching yell. Like I can't do it, but when I tell it sounds like something out of a horror movie, right?
Not exaggerating.
I'm laying down right there here. Again, for those of you who don't know, like drums are typically like in the front of the church, right? So like if you sitting behind the drums and open your eyes, you can see the full sanctuary. So I open my eyes like real slow, right, as I hear the sound. Like I didn't sit up, I didn't do none of that. And I see an individual, there was a female sitting on the floor. Their hair was like down their face, and they was rocking back and forth like something out of a movie. And all the lights was off.
Well,
we had
it was
lamps.
it was
We
a
had
little-
lamps.
lamps and stuff, but it was
Yeah,
a
the
pretty
main
big
lights
facility.
were off.
All the
Yeah,
main
yeah,
lights
yeah.
are off, okay? And I'm just waking up out of sleep, okay? And I'm talking about they rocking like this. When I tell y'all, I thought that was her, and we was dating, bro. I closed my eyes so fast and started calling on Jesus. I'm so. I kid you not. I say.
We had the same type of curls, y'all.
Listen,
same
they had the
hairstyle,
same hairstyle, same hairstyle. When I tell you that, boy,
Messed him up.
that
About to
for a
call it
second, boy, that
quits.
messed me up. But I was like, oh, what I done got myself into. Oh, shoot. But it wasn't her.
It wasn't
alright?
me,
I found out.
guys.
I eventually opened my eyes back up again and kind of just, focused and homed in as I was still calling on the name of Jesus. And I got up. Okay, I had to get up and get myself together and walk around because my sleepy eyes I thought that was her. And boy,
Right.
but I wasn't
That's
going.
what
We
it
was gonna be broken up by listen.
By sun up.
No
sun
words.
up,
No
yeah.
words
Oh,
needed.
we're
No
done.
words needed. We
I
was
have
done.
nothing to say.
Nothing at all.
Crazy.
I'm telling y'all, but that what?
That's
Listen.
hilarious.
It'll mess you
So-
up, but mess you up in the good way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
listen. You can't
You
tell
don't want to
me.
get
at
plugged in
all.
after that.
You
It's like,
can't
oh, I need to get
tell
myself
me.
together.
I ain't trying to
If
be
that's
like
not
that.
But-
if that's not the biggest, I need to get myself
Listen.
together. Like moment.
Listen, you
We are
talking
not
about
exaggerating. I'm gonna keep saying it.
you talking about being forced, like you talking about like just no questions. Like God, listen, I'm sorry for ever even like. Listen.
Doubting, questioning.
But I
anything.
know you really.
Yeah.
You'll try your hardest not to
Yeah.
sin.
Yeah.
Listen,
Like
that there, because you that's
yourself
that
together
was
quick.
like the ultimate outcome, you know, of like not or allowing yourself to be vulnerable to the devices of the enemy.
Yeah.
And it's like to see that, especially with somebody that's young
Yeah.
and close to your age, it's like let me
All
get
ages.
myself together.
You're right.
and we
All
needed to
the
see
way.
that. It was good for us to see.
It
at
was,
the early
it
age
was.
that we were at.
Now if we was to show something like that, people may think it's AI.
They ain't even gonna hold you.
sure.
They just might.
They-
They just might. No, yeah, videos. Crazy.
Yeah. All right, Tiana.
All right. Have I ever doubted my faith? I don't think I've doubted it, but I've for sure questioned it. More so from the point of if something was to happen in my life, or if I feel like something or a door isn't opening for me or something, my question would be, is my faith large enough? You know, it got to be the size of a mustard seed. So that says a lot. That's like, is my faith large enough? Is this why doors aren't open for me? Is this why this isn't happening or hasn't happened for me yet? And from that, it's like I get in my head a little bit or whatever. But the next question is, am I in the perfect will of God? Am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I out of alignment? Do I need to? So then I do a self-evaluation. I kind of check myself to see where I'm at, see where my heart's at, check my heart posture, see how I'm feeling towards people or whatever, how I'm feeling about situations that may have passed and everything. So it gives me if something comes, but it always, when something come up or when something happens, that's when the questions come in, and that's
Right.
when I have to, okay, now I probably need to do a self-evaluation. I need to go ahead and check myself because I'm thinking a little too much on stuff. Okay, let me check myself. Let me see what's going on and stuff. But another time I would say I questioned my faith personally was when Dad passed.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, God, like,
Yeah.
he ain't had to take me. And I mean,
Right,
like, he,
right.
what?
Right.
But everything
Right.
happens for a reason.
Right.
And so it's like at the end of the day, you gotta know, or we know God is in control. God has the last say so. Everything will work out for my good. These are like affirmations I have to speak. Like, God, I know you got me. At the end of the day, you got me, regardless of what it looked like right now. I know
Right.
that it will work out for
Right.
my favor.
Yep.
Okay. I just
Gotta
want
have that
to
faith.
add to that. I think too, like what has helped us, just us personally, is having or being around somebody who actually shows us examples of having crazy faith.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
If
Shout
if
out
you've
to-
never
to-
met
to my mom.
Dee Powell,
Baby.
listen.
Shout out
this
to my
lady,
mom.
First of all, crazy faith is an understatement. If crazy faith was a word in the dictionary, you would see Dee Powell
yeah,
right next to it. When I
listen.
this lady, she literally will walk like. And I think that's why now I believe that anything that we want, we can get. It don't matter what it is, how
For
out
sure.
of reach it may seem. We can get it, and
Listen.
we will get it. We will obtain it. She doesn't take no for an answer.
Listen.
She finds.
Listen.
That's how she is. I can't even explain
Listen,
it.
I ain't gonna hold you. I've had conversations, right, with other people pertaining to how crazy her faith is. And the conclusion at the time was, maybe it's just female logic. Like, maybe. Because,
No, it's definitely not.
as a man, you're supposed to be the provider, so you got to worry about, like, like,
Yeah.
you tend to worry about certain things, you know, whether it be money, bills, whatever the case is.
And she
to
don't
provide for
worry.
your family.
At all.
She don't worry.
She don't, right?
She don't sit up there and be like, oh my God, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. She's
But-
like, oh,
Just do it.
gotta do it. Or
Nike.
we just
God told me to do it.
Nike. Just
listen.
do it. That
Or
is
she
her
just be like,
slogan.
oh, I'm not stressing over that.
Okay.
When
Listen.
I tell you, we handle stuff so differently.
That's why I gotta be in the dark.
we we handle stuff so differently. If something happens, I'm like, in my mind, or she'll talk to me about stuff that's going on, but she's telling me like, girl, you don't believe this, da, da, da. And I'm like, why are you not shaking? Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, she handles stuff with so much grace, and it's just like, God got it.
Yeah. And
Faith on like that's
on 10,
I aspire,
on,
you know,
on
say
100.
Mom, I know you're gonna watch this episode. I aspire to have your level of faith. You know how they say
for
faith
sure.
the size of a mustard seed. Hers is
A mango seed.
it's huge.
It's the earth.
It's
She got the whole
this
bottle
is,
of faith.
yeah.
Her
When I
faith
tell you
runneth
she,
over.
and then it's unmoved. It ain't no like you can't convince her.
You cannot.
that God ain't gonna do it. Like you cannot convince her. And
And
I
she a
love it.
dreamer too.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Is
I do.
Please.
and then you can say to her,
Get out the boat,
Yeah,
Peter.
nothing. Absolutely. You could be like, "Oh, that's not gonna happen." First of all, don't ever tell her something ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
but she is. Yeah,
she got crazy
for sure.
faith.
Shout out you.
Crazy.
Shout out you, Bon.
Crazy faith.
Today this is a shout out episode. Anybody else we missed?
Shameless plug. I have a song called "Pray." I would say that song in itself, right? When writing it, was when I was trying to take on the mindset of our mother, and just being like, you know what, the situation is out of my control,
Right.
so I'm just gonna give it to God, and whatever happens.
Right.
We just gonna do all that we know to do and all that we can physically do, and not worry about the other stuff.
What the song? Don't pray and worry.
Yeah,
That's facts. Cause I literally, if I'm dealing with something, I'm like worried and stuff, and then I'm like praying. It's like
they contradict each
a
other.
lot. Yeah, don't it? So it's just like, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It
That
is
has to
what
be
it
your
is.
motto.
Yeah.
You
We've been-
do not
and we
want to
say that.
stress.
A lot.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
I think that's part of my nonchalantness. You know,
Hit
it's
it and
like
let it
it's-
go.
There you go. Hit it and let it go.
What it
You
is.
deal with it in the moment, and then you release it.
Yep.
You don't hold on to
make
it.
your body happy. That's how you keep yourself from
Listen,
stressing.
we talked about this
sure.
the last.
Absolutely.
We talked about this the last week.
Keep you from
Yes.
stressing yourself
Do
out.
not stress yourself out. If something comes up, and then for my introverts out there that know what it's like, when something comes
'cause I
up,
can't
just so
relate.
they can't. When something comes up, you deal with it in that moment, and then
Have
you
to.
let it go, and you'll
Have
be
to.
at peace. When I,
Okay. But yeah, we don't have any more questions to answer today, you guys. But we do appreciate you guys tuning into the video.
oh, yes, for sure,
Um,
and liking, commenting, subscribing,
Yeah, sharing all that good
sharing.
stuff.
We're
All
gonna
that.
keep it coming.
We are. We're gonna,
We're dedicated.
consistency is key.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
That is that.
Consistency.
Yes, it
what was
is.
the last question we was just talking about?
Your faith, if it ever wavered.
No,
all that.
the
Oh.
previous episode. One of the lessons, the life
Oh,
lessons,
life
consistency.
lessons. Yeah, consistency.
This
definitely.
year, the year of consistency.
Yeah,
Yes,
definitely.
For sure.
Stay consistent.
Yeah, that's why we posted last week's episode, because
Yes.
we want to make sure we stay
And I tell
consistent.
y'all that episode is going up regardless. I said, I don't care if it's 5 minutes. We showing it.
We should show the bloopers.
We're
That's
not
what we
gonna
should
show
do.
those bloopers.
One day.
We should.
One day we
One
might
day.
have a bloopers episode.
Yeah.
Cause y'all don't know
Yeah.
how long it take us to get to the questions.
No, like last week, I don't
was
know
just
what
last-
we
it
were
was just
on.
episode
It was
2.
a lot going on last week.
Yeah, it was just episode
we were
2.
sleepy. That's all.
Yeah.
Time to go home.
We done ate.
Yes.
All right, quiet. Outro, bro.
Yeah, okay, so listen, guys, listen. I worked on this great outro, right? I don't have it memorized,
Right.
but I will have it memorized.
Okay.
All right. So for the time being, right,
Right.
I'm gonna read it. Okay, off this piece of paper right here. I'm gonna put on my professional voice and I'm gonna read it off this paper, right? And then when y'all tune in, maybe like 2 more episodes. I ain't gonna say how many episodes.
Right.
When you don't see this paper, and I can look at you eyeball to eyeball,
Yeah.
and say this outro, just know I got it. All right.
Period.
All right. So, Thanks for tuning in to Listen Up Legacy, where we don't just talk, we build.
Yeah.
Remember, legacy isn't about age, status, or perfection.
And not.
It's about living with intention, purpose, and faith.
Facts.
Right now. We challenge you all this week. Say something, do something, or be someone that makes a difference, not just today, but for generations to come. Until next time, we want you guys to keep living, keep growing, and keep leaving a legacy worth listening to.
Yes.
We love you guys, and we thank you for watching
you
us.
ate
Y'all
that
have a great
up.
week.
Bye.
You gonna memorize all that? Go ahead.
he's
Go
not.
ahead.
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
Yes, I have great memory.
Boost.
All right, y'all. Have a great and wonderful
Week.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Great
we'll
week.
see y'all
Great rest
next
of the
week.
Yeah. Night.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I'm saved and I'm blessed. I done been put to the test. Pass, now it's on to the next. Tell me who you gon' check. Bossed up, sign the checks. Careful so you don't wreck.